Everyone, it's Kirei here for Arden Creative Studio, and I am sharing with you my very first layout using the fabulously new Wicked Woods collection designed by Katie Pertiet. This is perfect for all of you who love Halloween, pumpkin patches, something quite grungy. Yeah, it's really, really spot on for that. Though I have to say, it does feel a little strange scrapbooking sort of pumpkin related photos when it is 30 plus degrees outside today. So yeah, anyway, I have pulled out this pattern paper from the 12 by 12 paper pad. It's sort of got the leafy foliage design in it that's quite subtle, and I thought it would make a good background. And then I am using a series of the frames, and the frames are actually part of the 12 by 12 paper pad because you get a number of sheets at the back of the paper pad of kiss cut designs. So it's all sort of extra bits of ephemera for you to use. And that's the same in the 6 by 8 paper pad as well. They have a number of sheets at the back in the same way. So I've layered up the frames. I've pulled in some of the ephemera. There's some laser cuts in there, and I'm just having a play with, where they're all going to sit. So I'm happy with that. And then now that I'm sort of okay with how they're all sitting, I've mounted my photo on one of the pattern papers from the 6 by 8 paper pad. It's one of the black, sort of quite subtle designs on it. And that will allow my photo really to sort of pop a little more from the background. And then I have brought in, these are the decoupage papers. There's 4 different designs in the pack. And sometimes I'm like, oh, how do I use them? What should I do? But actually, I had an idea with the frames. I was just going to back the frames with these decoupage papers. And I've picked out the 2. So I've got this sort of autumnal wood background here. And I'm picking out the one with the toadstools, and I'm going to use that as backing for the 2 larger frames. And then the smaller frames, I'm bringing in this one with the autumnal butterflies and sort of slightly script background, and I'm going to back all of those. I did consider raising the backing on foam pads, but I decided not to because I wanted to raise the frames on foam pads anyway, so I'm just sticking them completely flat to the frame. So I'll get all of those done and I'll get them raised up on foam pads. And as if by magic, here we go, all finished. And so I can get those stuck down. Now, the larger 2 frames, I do stick flat, but I do leave the sort of top edge of that one there unstuck, just so it sort of lifts up from the background, because I don't really like everything really, really flat. So yeah, so and of course, bringing in my trusty T-square to make sure that everything's nice and straight. And there we go. Everything's now stuck down. But I want to add a few more layers to the background. So I'm tearing off this side piece. I'm going to really sort of curl the edges over. Really, I'm going to tear into them a little bit because I'm going to add a couple more paper layers to the right and then mount it on the white cardstock background. And I've used the premium cardstock in the natural white for the background here. So back to the 12 by 12 paper pad, and I've pulled in the grey leafy pattern paper and then that black pattern paper, and I'm just going to do the same, tear 2 pieces down. I'm going to really curl up the edges, tear into them and stick those together, and then I can stick that to my background, and that just gives me a bit more sort of layered look, but it also gives me that nice texture with the rolled, curled, distressed edges that I like to get into my layout. So I think here we go, as if by magic, all done. There we go, all stuck down. And now I can get back to adding all of the embellishments. So I've already sort of worked out, obviously, I did that at the beginning, of where things are going. So I can get things stuck down now. I am going to raise quite a few of the embellishments on foam pads just to get some dimension between the pumpkins and the frames that they're going to be sat on, rather than them all being completely flat. I've got the circle there with the butterfly on and the pumpkins, and these are all from the Kiss Cut sheets in the paper pads. I'm just looking. I think all of the pumpkins and the circle, the butterfly circle, they're all from the 6x8 paper pad. And you get, I think you get 2 sheets of each, so you get loads, so it's great. So on top of having the laser cuts and the rub-ons, yeah, you've got lots of elements to decorate your layouts with. These are just, they were some of the laser cuts there, and there we go. I've got everything stuck down now. And then we've got these really cute epoxy stickers, and I love the little sort of faux wax. I have to think what are they called? The wax seals. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. And they've got they've got a pumpkin on. So I've got 3 of those, and I'm just figuring out where I'm going to actually add them. So I'm going to add 3 in, just tucking them into some of my clusters there. So yep, happy with that. Got those finally stuck down. And then I've just got the little dots, and I'm going to just add a little cluster of 3 down the bottom there. This one's a stripy one. I couldn't quite decide whether I'd add it or not, but I didn't. I went with just 3 plain colours. And then I'll add another little cluster up the top here, and just a little cluster of 3. And then I think, oh yeah, this little circle, look at me, I'm moving around. I cannot figure out where it's going to go. It says good times, and I'm just like, I definitely want to add it, but I'm not sure where. There we go. I think I finally got it stuck down. And then I needed a title, and there weren't any sort of words that I could use that were sort of big enough for me for a title. So I went back to this clear stamp set. It's called Sketchy Alpha. I've used it before for a title, and it's great because it's not too big and it's nice and easy to fussy cut. So I'm just stamping all the letters, and it's just going to say pumpkins with an exclamation mark, and I'm going to fussy cut each of them out, which didn't take long at all, because as I say, they're nice and easy to cut around, leaving a little narrow border. And then I'm just going to raise them all up on foam pads, and that's going to sit at the top of my photo. So this here is just one of the pattern papers in the 6x8 paper pad. I wanted a bit of colour to the background, but obviously I wanted my black stamped letters to really stand out. So this pale colour was just perfect. So I'll get fussy cutting and get those stuck down, but you get the idea. There we go. It's done. Added on, which is great. And I love how it looks just raised. It worked out well because I had that sort of quite blank area with the sky at the top of my photo. And then I'm bringing in the fabulous rub-ons. So there are 4 different styles of designs in the rub-ons, and there's 2 of each sheet. I think that's right. And I'm just pulling out, this is a bit of a script piece here. I've got the little colour swatch piece here that I'm going to add in, and then I'm going to bring in the other circle design so it mirrors the one that I've used in the top left. So I'm just making sure I'm happy with placement before I get those stuck down, I should say, rubbed on. And then yeah, but I felt I needed something over on the right here just to balance the sort of big cluster at the top of the photo and the other below it. Again, it's thinking in the rule of 3 to sort of create your visual triangle on your design. So yeah, so I got that in there. And this photo I dug out, it is a slightly older photo. It does go back to 2022 when I go every year, we go away for a week. It's a scrapbooking group, and 8 of us go away, and we spend a lovely week in a barn in Herefordshire, and we went out to a pumpkin patch, and you can imagine 8 scrapbookers in a pumpkin patch, the amount of photos we had to get, because obviously, you know, that's what we do. But yeah, so yeah, it was nice to relive those memories. Okay, and then this is almost done, and then that's pretty much the layouts come together. I will add some journaling just to the bottom right of my photo. But yeah, happy with how that came together. Loving the Wicked Woods new collection from Arden Creative Studio. Oh, that's right, I did add another little cluster of the epoxy stickers over here because I'd already added 2. This was now my 3rd one. Okay, I think we're coming up to the final layout and then all of the close-up details, but yeah, it was lovely to work with, and I hope you enjoy the layout and the process video and get some inspiration for using this fabulously wicked collection, Wicked Woods by Arden Creative Studio. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon. Bye for now.